So, Moderator, thank you very much for permitting us to present the paper on evidence of Callus induction in the development of micropropagation of Acacia Senegal in Borno State of Nigeria. This Callus induction or formation is consequence of research on developing in vitro propagation protocol for gum arabic in Borno State. Now, both of us, myself, Gadzama, and Kaldapa, we come from Biotechnology Center, University of Maiduguri. And in Biotechnology Center, we relate our activities research to Sahel, because this is where we live. And as you can see, Sahel is very harsh. Yeah. So at Biotechnology Center, we have adopted some orphan crops, crops that are not food crops or industrial crops of big nature. For example, baobab. I think many people know baobab. Yeah. Yeah. Tamarind tree, locust bean tree, shea butter. The ladies love shea butter. Moringa is not an orphan crop, but we notice it is very, very important in Sahel. And gum arabic. Gum arabic is most important. It is very important cash crop as well as a environmental very valuable tree. And therefore, we are very pleased to present this paper, and I will ask Jummai Kaldapa, who has done a lot of the work. We are a team, and the team have suggested that I must allow her to present this paper. I gladly allow her. Please.
Alongside, desert encroachment is also a problem. But because of these harsh conditions, most communities are forced to leave their homelands. They cannot withstand the condition that you see here, no water, and vegetation also is very scarce. So, but then, in the midst of this very harsh condition, there is one tree that we found that thrives very well in this environment. That is Acacia Senegal, or we call it the gum arabic tree commonly. This tree has been found to be not only drought resistant, but it provides vegetative cover for the degraded environment. It also controls erosion, that's both wind and sand erosion, and also controls the desert encroachment. Apart from the ecological advantages of this tree, it also produces a valuable product we call gum arabic, or the gum exudate from this plant. This exudate, gum arabic, is very valuable to companies, especially manufacturing companies like pharmaceuticals and pharmaceuticals and food industry, because it's being used as emulsifier or as binding agent. Very useful in such company. But the one problem this plant has is that it has a poor seed germination. And even when the seed germinates, it hardly survives in the environment after it has been transplanted. So our goal was to look for alternative methods of propagating this valuable tree. So the alternative method we took was to tissue culture, plant tissue culture, to generate, to see the probability of propagating this tree in large quantities so that we could use it to control the environment and then provide sustainable development to the people that live in that Sahel. So not to bore you with the methodology, what we actually did was to get seed from our own indigenous Acacia Senegal tree. We raised seedlings and then harvested a nodal explant or nodal tissues from this plant and then cultured it in the lab. And at the end of the 6 weeks, what we got, the result was this, Callus. Yes, this Callus, we can see the proliferation of Callus. So the media we used was MS medium, and with the MS medium we supplemented with plant growth regulators, specifically an auxin and a cytokinin. So we found that the auxin actually helped in proliferating the Callus, and addition of the cytokinin also helped because it enhanced the physiological nature of the Callus. On the other hand, the MS media actually we divided into two. One was half strength, the other was the full strength. The full strength was more valuable in producing, as you can see, the Callus, the first set of results were for full strength MS media, while the second set of results was for half strength. And from the picture, you can see that the half strength didn't produce much result. So what's so important about the Callus? The Callus is nothing but just an unorganized cell, a parenchyma cell. Each of these cells that you see, let me just, yes, this bunch of cells that you see here can contain million copies of the Callus cells. The advantage of this cell is that it could be used to produce seedlings in batch cultures. And apart from that, this pathway for regenerating plant, the Callus pathway, is the first step if you want to carry out any transformation studies on any plant. This is the first step that you take in biotechnology. So, and then another advantage of the Callus is that it could be used to induce organogenesis, meaning that now as it is in Callus form, it can be used, just like in medicine we say we have the stem cells. You could use that stem cell to produce any kind of tissue. Same thing in the case of plant. The Callus cell is like the stem cell in plant. You could make it to produce roots or shoots or any form, and then you can regenerate batch culture, million copies. And another good thing about the Callus is that every piece of plant you generate from the Callus is a carbon copy of the parent plant where you took it. So if we can generate seedlings from this Callus, we can produce million copies of seedlings so that we can now use it to control our environment. Just like the first, the Callus, this is although I don't have pointer, but the second picture there is Callus undergoing organogenesis, meaning that it is producing organs, leaves, and then root. Then the third picture is seeing in the future the prospect that if we can produce million copies of seedlings from this Callus, we can use it to control the environment, reforest our degraded environment, and also make communities that have been chased away by desert encroachment to come back. And apart from that, we can also use the gum Arabic. These communities that we bring back, these people that we bring back to their communities, they will be stakeholders. They will be partners in maintaining these trees in the environment. And when it is maintained and it matures, they will also benefit from the economic value of this gum Arabic. As you can see, the women and the youth are the people that are usually found in the rural areas. So if this is a picture of women preparing, after they are the ones that will harvest, they are the ones that will select, and then they will now sell to the either middlemen or whatever. So this is the gum Arabic that we're talking about. If only we can progress this work from where it is now at the Callus stage to the organogenic or embryonic stage, we can have that prospect that in the future we can produce not only gum arabic, but gum arabic that has high yield of gum and that can mature within a short time so that we can reforest our degraded environment and the community can also benefit. The work is an ongoing project, but we need all the support and all the collaboration we can get. And we want to thank especially the Nigerian Tertiary Education Trust Fund for sponsoring this work to this stage, and also the University of Maiduguri for ensuring that this work continues to progress, because without them, we will not be able to get this. So these are references, and I thank you. I thank the WASD for bringing us here so that we could share our insight, and you also, the participant or the audience, for giving me your time and your attention. Thank you.
Questions, please.
Before questions, Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
some of the high resounding proposals, they are proposals, they are not facts yet. We hope we will get there. And Mr. Moderator, I thank you for giving me a few extra minutes. Two of us were speaking, so we needed more time. Let me thank the organizer of this conference. We will not be here except for the input and dedication of Professor Alan Ahmed and his team. Wonderful team. Let's give this team applause. Carry on with the good work in the future. We'll come back and tell the audience how far we have gone with Gum Arabic in the future. Now, the big problem is that already in Nigeria, some rich people have begun to develop big farms of Gum Arabic. Plantations. But the problem is, we pray insurgency will not destroy these good efforts. In fact, we cannot end this remark without cautioning that the world must stand against insurgency, because it is creating a lot of problems, particularly in the developing world. We in Maiduguri, as you see us, she is very courageous. You cannot leave Maiduguri city 10 kilometers without worrying that somebody will stop you on the way. So, in supporting, we thank God that this research is not field research. What I mentioned yesterday, we cannot do that anymore. This is laboratory-based research, and we can still quietly continue with our work. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Right. Are there any questions from that presentation? If there is, please come up to the podium. No questions? One of the questions I was going to ask was the local marketplace and the route to market, because you showed the potential for the women. How is that? How would that be organised, or how is it organised at the moment?
At the moment, just like a Prof said, the insurgency has disorganized almost everything. But before the insurgency, yes, there are middlemen, especially the Indians and I think the South Americans who come to buy from them. So they will harvest and keep, and then this middleman buys from them for the nuts.
Thank you very much. Hema will give us a quick
Indeed, this presentation was very interesting. To start with, Prof. Muhammad Noor Alam's Islamic banking, all the way from Canada even though we have some few disturbances in between the Skype. Dr. Mohammad Noor Alam contribution to Islamic banking is very vital, and people who are in the Islamic banking know well about him. And I had an opportunity to work with him in Sultan Qaboos University, and we worked together in few projects. As far as, I think Professor Muhammad Alam gave a very good explanation regarding the institutional network modeling and how it works in the Islamic banking, and also extensive research findings and how Sudan works very well in the Islamic banking system, in the Masakara system. Regarding the second presentation of Ms. Niveda's environmental benefits of sugarcane bahis and how it is avoiding the environmental hazards, hopefully EID Parry company, like such companies, and what are their various initiatives they have taken to be more environment friendly. This is a very important lesson for all the developing countries as such. We need to focus on these areas of creating byproducts and how we can solve many issues like this. On the third speaker, on the evidence of Callus presented by the, Kaldapa and Professor Sir. It's very interesting. As far as the gum arabic tree is concerned, to my knowledge, it's potentially disappearing these days, which have lots and lots of potential benefits from the gum arabic. Probably the people who are living in the desert areas might be knowing what are the various benefits which we can get from this gum arabic plant. It's having a lot of medical as well as food industries. Many industries can use the same. It's a very interesting research as such, and I'm wishing you all the best to come up with a full extensive scientific research. I think you are here in the right place with Dr. Alam and team, and you can get, I think, technical all support. We wish you all the best. Thank you. And also, the first part of the session, we got 3 questions from the youngsters. Number 1, the first question was raised by, can I know your name, please?
Marie.
Marie. It's regarding how youth can involve themselves in practical issues and in the developing countries to overcome poverty as such. And the second question is from, the second question is from?
My name's Madison.
Yeah, Madison. How does you use and get ideas from the conference, and how does the youth get ideas from the conference? And the third question is from?
Actually, I had the third question. I'm not sure where the second question came from.
Okay. Your question is more engagement of the youth in the higher involved projects. Am I correct? Higher institutional projects.
Yes.
Okay. To be like all the 3 questions are almost in the same line, involvement of youth in various community-based activities, youth-based activities, and industrial areas. Actually, to be honest, the current day youth, you people are more blessed, okay, with the advent of the latest technologies and what are the facilities you are having. If you roll back to 20 years back or 30 years back, where we all started as a college or as schooling, like myself or Dr. Alam or other panelists here, we never had such facilities. Opportunities will not come. You have to grab the opportunities, okay? Even when you are going out of this conference hall, you have to see that what the best you can take. Okay, it's in your hands. You youth people are very more sensible, more intelligent, and more accessible to resources. Okay, you have to grab the opportunities and see that where all you can fit yourself to the best to work for your country, to work for your host land, homeland, and for the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Allen?
Thank you very much. I think this session was very exciting and interesting. Just a couple of points, sorry. The first one, Professor Gadzama mentioned Maiduguri. And for those of you who they don't know where is this Maiduguri, Maiduguri University is in the heart of Boko Haram, you know, this terrorist group. So last 2 years ago, when they came and presented in London, we had two presentations. One about the seriousness of this group killing people in Nigeria and how WHO and health sector is trying to reach the victims. And at the same time, we had this tremendous work is being done in the same university. So you can see in the same spot, people killing others and the others are doing. Well, Professor Gadzama, sorry to keep repeating, but he was one of the most finest scientists in Africa, biotechnology, and he used to be the vice chancellor of the university. But more importantly, you can see, I'm quite impressed with the way we can see, I'm not saying old, Professor, you are still young, but you can see he said his team asked him for how to do the teaching. So I'm quite happy you can see not only young generations are they are not taking lead from you, but how you transfer your experience to them. And he told me yesterday she will be presenting, and I think she did very well. I'm sure she did. And so you can see that one is both. The other thing which is very interesting, technology, this whole conference is about the role of technology, innovation, science, and research in helping in achieving the sustainable development goals. And technology works the same thing, both sides. Very positive and also can be misused. Terrorist group use technology for other things. But let me give you one example of the very good things happening. You remember that presentation from Professor Muhammad? He wanted to deliver his talk. He wake up all the morning, high committed individuals. Now, guess what happened? He was being watched from all over the world, and he sent this. This is actually recorded by people watching him from Lahore in Pakistan.
Same question I asked to the managing director of Islamic Bank in Bangladesh.
So this is being recorded by those who are watching him in Pakistan. So you can see technology. He was in Canada. We managed to get his talk delivered here, and he's being watched all over the world in Africa and others. So technology can be extremely useful. But at the same time, technology is being lethally used. I mean, we had been in the Tony Blair Foundation, I think last year. The Tony Blair Foundation was trying, they brought the best expert in ICT, trying to see how can they suppress this terrorist group from much publicity in the website. And I'm sure you all follow the things going with the Google in the US and here. So it's very simple. If I am Alam Ahmed having my own personal website, if there are many of you who go to my website and watch it, my ranking in Google will go up. But at the same time, a big institution, if there is no one reading their material there, their ranking will not be high. So they tried, even the government here in the US, and that was Tony Blair Foundation, our ex-prime minister, to try to find a way how can we suppress this terrorist group from using the internet so no one can know how they even have some manuals about even how to create a bomb on the internet. They couldn't, because the Google metrics, they say no, we can't change it because Google, they can only push people up it's a formula. So you can see technology, both sides, and we have to encourage a very positive use of it. I think I will finish with, I know I take a long lunch is waiting, but also about commitment. I'm very pleased Professor Verdi Brown, the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Innovation and Impact, she was in a trip, if you don't mind me saying that, in Scotland, but she said she will come to join this session, which is coming just after lunch. It's a very important session. And last night, I have been told she will also speak in the session, not just attending it. And you can see her detail here. So this is a huge commitment. I believe you came from the airport, right? Thank you very much, Professor. So we have a very good session waiting for us. I think we will finish. We have certificates to give to those people. And you're lucky. So can I ask you, Professor, to... Now, last not least, if you come quickly, we can have another group picture before we go to lunch. But you have to do it quickly so we can catch the lunch. So we will meet at 2. Can we quickly come here to the front? So you can stand where you are. Do you have a picture? We will share it. Yeah. We will share it with you. You don't need your mobile. We will give it. We will share it with you.
So please remember, if we all help and do a little bit, it will make a big difference.